Welcome dear students to my YouTube channel. Before I start the teaching work, all those who are new on my channel and haven't subscribed the channel yet, please do subscribe the channel and continue watching the video. Now today the topic which we are going to discuss is flow chart. In the last video, if you have not watched the last video, please watch the last video so that you may come to know what I am teaching right now. Now first thing, what is a flow chart? A flow chart is a technique in which we use pictorial representation of every action that we perform within the machine process that solves a problem. A set of symbols showing different actions is used to represent a flow chart. Now, the symbols are also called the components of flow chart. We have a unique symbol corresponding to each action within the process. For example, if you want to suggest that this is the starting of the program, then you have to use that symbol. Suppose if you want to take a decision, okay, then you have to use decision symbol. Now these symbols have got international meaning, so that for example, if you prepare a flow chart here and if you send it to some other country, then there also the person who is reading your flow chart will be able to understand the meaning, what you mean to say, like that way. Now before I teach you the meaning of different symbols, I am just showing you some flow charts. Okay, so you get little bit idea which type of thing it is. This is example of another flow chart. One more flow chart. Okay, you can see different symbols. For example, capsule symbol. Here this shape is known as diamond shape. This is parallelogram. So like this way different symbols are used. Fine. So now I will be explaining you the meaning of one by one symbol. The first and the foremost symbol which I have to explain you is the terminal symbol. Okay. It is used to show that the flow chart is starting from this point. You have to compulsory use this symbol. Also, at the end of the flow chart, you have to use the same symbol. The start and the end components are used to show the beginning and the end of an flow chart. It is represented by an oval shape. I am calling it a capsule symbol, but here according to the textbook it is known as oval shape. It is used twice, that is in the starting and in the ending of a program. The symbol is also called terminal symbol. Now wherever I found that MCQ could be formed, there I have marked those words in a different color, that is yellow color. Now the next symbol which we are going to discuss is input output symbol. Now see, every program needs an input. It then processes this input and generates an output. So to take any input, you have to use this symbol, and also to give the output of any program also you have to use this symbol. The input and output is presented by parallelogram. Now these all things you have to draw in your book, that is why you have to remember all these shapes. Now in the textbook an example is given to explain you this thing, that consider the problem which we had solved in the previous video, that was using the pseudocode method. Okay, what was that problem? I don't remember. Do you remember? In that problem, it was like that way that you have to ask the user to enter the number, okay, and then you have to give the output whether it is a odd number or even number. So for that you need to take the input from the user, am I right? So that you have to take the input using the symbol. Thereafter you have to process, you have to take the decision, divide it by 2, etc, etc, and then give the output whether it is this thing odd or even. So that again you have to use this symbol. Now the next thing, the next symbol is of arrow. Now in this example of terminal symbol also you can see the arrow over here, right? Here in the output also you can see the arrow on the top and the arrow on the bottom. So an arrow is used to show the sequence of the actions that are to be performed, or we can also say that it suggests the flow of the program. Okay, from start the flow of the program is going towards this direction. Here also you can see that something is coming from the top, here it is getting output and then it is going to the next step. So that suggests the flow of the program. It starts from one symbol and ends at another symbol. See, always an arrow key can't be lying empty anywhere. It will be lying between two different symbols. Okay, for example, just say have a look here. For example, this here arrow, then it is getting connected here and here also. This arrow also you can say it is connected here and this side also. So none of the arrow can be lying anywhere. It is always connected to two parts, that you have to remember. Fine. Then thus there will be one arrow coming into the symbol and one arrow going out of the symbol. Then comes the process. Process is the core part of any solution procedure. Okay, you take any example, you have to do the process. So for doing any type of process, for example, after taking the input, then next step is to process. For example, you want to prepare a program to calculate the simple interest. Then you have to take the input P, R and N, all the three things, and then you have to type that SI is equal to PRN upon 100. Then SI is equal to PRN upon 100 is a process. Okay, and that process is to be written inside this rectangular shape symbol. Rectangular shape symbol suggests process. The process is actually a sequence of actions. To represent a process, rectangle symbol is used. Oh, then we come to one more thing, that is condition. This is very useful thing. When you really prepare the programs in C language, that time you will have to check the condition and from that condition you will have to take the decision of what to do the next. Okay, so this symbol, this type of symbol is known as diamond shaped symbol. A logical decision of a process is represented by a diamond shaped symbol. It is also known as test symbol. A decision box is used when we want to alter the normal sequence of this solution as it is. So here I try to explain you with an example that you have prepared a program in Microsoft Excel, if you remember. In that you had used the if statement. You remember, is equal to if. It was a function, right? So is equal to if. And to bracket you used to check the condition. If the marks are less than 35, then you used to put a comma and in double quotes you used to type fail. Am I right? So same thing it does here. It checks the condition. If the condition becomes true, that is, yes, the marks are less than 35, then the flow of program will go on the true part. That is, it will go here. And what would you like to print then? Then you want to print that fail, right? So here you have to write print fail and the program will get over. Now if the marks are above 35, then what will happen? The condition will become false here. Okay, marks are not less than 35, right? So condition became false. So it will go to the false part. What is written in the false part here? Nothing. It is going away out and ending the program like this way, right? So like this way it is. Now here another thing is given, another example, that for example if you want to prepare a program that if the marks are less than 35, then print fail. If the marks means what happens if the marks are not less than 35, means it is above 35 or 35, then it will execute what is written in the false part. So here you can type pass. Okay, this arrow I have done by mistake. Okay, don't consider this arrow, it's done by mistake. Fine. So like this way it is. You can show both the parts, true part and false part, that if the condition becomes true, then what will be written here, that will be the output, and if the condition becomes false, then what will be written here, that will be the output, and finally the program will come to an end. Then sometimes we may require more than two alternatives to take a decision. In such a situation, more than one decision box can be combined to form the required alternatives. Now try to guess for an example of what I am talking just now. Are you getting the example from Microsoft Excel program? Try to remember. Okay, is anything coming in your mind? It is nested if. Here you have to check multiple conditions. For example, here if the marks are greater than, for example, marks are greater than 90, then print a grade A or ranker or A1 or something. Okay. Now if the marks are not greater than 90, then it will go down and check the other condition. Okay. Now here you have put another condition. If the marks are greater than 60, print first class or second class, something, right? Okay. Now if the marks are not greater than 60, then okay, check the third condition. If the marks are greater than 50, second class, and if it's not greater than 50, then exit the thing, close the program there, right? So like this way you can use this thing, decision or condition diamond shaped symbol, for a number of times to check multiple conditions. Now see, this thing whatever you learn in Excel, again it will come in C language. In C language you will not be given any function, you will have to prepare a thing on your own. So this whole concept should go into your mind, trying to understand this thing. Fine. Then the last symbol is connector symbol. Now a circle symbol is used to represent a connector. Here I have forgotten to make a yellow color here. At times it is possible that a flowchart becomes too large to fit into a single page. Just now only here I was finding problem that it was not fitting here, then I had to decrease the size of all these things. But this is a smaller flowchart. If the flowchart is too big, if it is not fitting in one page, it is extending on the other pages, then what to do? At that time you can use the connector symbol. Okay, how to use that I will tell you. For example, my flowchart is ending on this page here. Okay, then here I have to do an arrow key, this thing I have to do, and then I have to draw a circle, and in that I have to denote any alphabet, for example A. Now in the other page I have to start the program from one circle. Inside that what is written here? A. So here also I have to start with A and then down arrow key and then continue the flowchart. Now why does this A, or why is this A to be written here, A, B, C, anything? Because the flowchart can extend to multiple pages. Then how will you find out the connection? So if you have denoted it by some alphabets at the ending and at the starting, then you can match AA, BB, CC, like that way you can match the alphabets and connect the whole chart, right? So like that way it is of this thing, connector symbol. Now practically I will solve one problem on the blackboard which is given in the textbook. Try to understand that thing. Also draw all the symbols in your computer fair book, whatever I have drawn today, and then the flowchart also, whichever I will draw, please draw it on the in your book, and please hit the like button of this video, because these all things I can explain it on the board also, but I wanted to explain it properly, so I have taken pain to draw all these symbols here. It took such a lot of time. Okay, so do hit the like button. Fine, now we begin the first practical problem. So till now we have learned what a flow chart is, right? Now we have also looked at which are the symbols used to create a flow chart. Now we practically solve a problem given in the textbook. Now the problem which is given here is that you have to find, I am just reading out from the textbook, the fitting charge of tiles is rupees 10 per square feet. Remember, the fitting charge of tiles is rupees 10 per square feet. Now assume that the problem is to find out the total cost of fitting the tiles on the rectangular shaped town hall floor. Okay, now to solve the problem, what do we need to find first? First, we need to find the area in which the tiles is to be fit. Am I right? Okay, now you all have studied maths, so you know that how to find the area of a rectangular surface, right? What is the formula of that? Length multiplied by breadth. Okay, so first thing is, by doing so you will get the total area. Fine. Next thing is, you have to find the cost of fitting, right? Now you know one thing, that rupees 10 is the cost of fitting tiles per square feet. So the total cost will be area multiplied by rupees 10. So that will be the answer. Now to solve this given task, we will need the help of 4 variables to store 4 different values. Which are those variables? Length, breadth, area, and last thing is cost. Or we can say total cost. So we need 4 different variables to store these 4 different values. Now as per the textbook, what is a variable? Any entity whose value can be assigned and changed during the execution process is known as a variable. For example, the value of length can be 10 feet also, 20 feet also, 30 feet also. It depends. Okay, so it is a variable. You can assign any value to 8. Fine. Now the flow chart to find the cost of fitting tiles on the floor I am drawing here. Okay, so any flow chart will start with the symbol shape in the shape of a capsule. Okay, it is the symbol of start and end. So I draw that symbol there. Start. Okay, so this is the first thing which you have to do in starting of any of the flow chart. Next thing, the flow of program will go in this direction. So I have to draw this arrow to show the direction. Now what will be the first thing we will have to do? We will have to input length and breadth. Okay, in the program we need to input length and breadth. On the basis of that only we will be able to do the further calculations, right? So how to input? The input symbol is like a parallelogram. So I draw that symbol and in that I will write input length and breadth. These are the two variables. So in this step we have to input length and breadth. Then what will be the next step? Next step is the process. Okay, we don't have to input anything. Now we have to do the process of calculating the area. Since we have got length and breadth, so we have to calculate. So the shape used to do the process is rectangular shape. So I draw a rectangle here in which I will write area is equal to length multiplied by breadth. So now we have got the area. Now it's very simple. The total cost of fitting the tiles is equal to area multiplied by 10. Now here I shorten the name of the variable because I will not be able to write so big name. I just make the name as cost. Variable name is cost. So we have got the cost, we have got the answer. Now we have to output. Okay, as we have taken the input, same way we have to give the output. And for output, the same symbol, that is parallelogram, is used. So here I have to type, or I will write print area. Fine. And then end. The program ends here. So like this way we are able to draw the flowchart of the given program. Now here, if this thing 10 was not fixed in the given question, here it is given fixed price, that is 10. Okay, but if it is a variable thing, that means if it is changing, then here also instead of 10 we will have to take one more variable and make the use